tene kare. Oche dan ti indu zane ta tangi di imba. Chiwa mitakwa dirbe, raba?
Nola.
Oche dan ti indu zane ta chiwa mitakwa ti ane chik pige, raba? Ta shiragi chuk kuma cheyagi yakshu chugi kuma ane chik pige di tohne ta yong tuya yobachi tang chik pige karsa gore. Ngaranzu chiwa mitakwa sambati majungwe kembe ane chule ya chik pige chue che sambachi tang chue pige karsa gore ngaranzu une chik pige tebachi yobachi, iji yobachi ane chue chi chego sam ine dus laanru chik pige karsa gore yagochi yongma tuya di chiwa mitakwa samba tembo mebe gyumzengre. chiwa mitakwa samba tembo chunga ina wata kyoni 대고로 마주고 잡지. 그봐? 꼭 하인스는 탈 kub에 뒤줘야지 당 꼬직 비게 가리 인행 안주 딱와 땜바 매버지 하고 두잖아. 아니 가리 인행 고 쉐려야 안 주게라. 강한 슈슈 용투배지 고 랑싱이 차디고 여러분. 안주 치와 미다고 삼바디 땜보지 마중어 인두잖아. 디 겜배 아니 쉐 제베 인행 고 시리스 로바타 시리스 차투고요 말에. 제단디 일단 딜랭 안주 비게 지금 뭐 니지고 돈에다 당기 쉬버는시 아니 녀바도 치와 남질에 녀바 매바 치베지 추마도 관계 그냥 해변바 저봐 치차도 추가 균노론주 교변저 어떤 점불리나 돌람 빌리언 망부 연에 시든 기한 수지미도 시차도 전에 다가를 강가 유네 직비게 로데 강바 사자 어다 사자베 애가 동라 망부 연에 유니 줘야래 어다 베샤 감 망부베 돌람 봄디 망부 감난 연에 유니 줘야래 어다 직비게 사회 통해 배 진행이야 봉샤네 요는 줘야래 각 개지 그봐 컵 구바지네 키에요 말에 타나임베 소소베 시부지 가부지 제부지 소소 루부디네 유제 줘야래 마도 지기 괜히 자신체니 가 개지 팬도 연구요 말. 자 가릭 핑겨 어르신 다 추엔들이 그봐 추엔냠네 추신디하고 치 시도이네 로데버지 오네 아야 녀데오네 메스 데베린들다 가 시루도 대비는 얘하고 제비인다스 오늘 선바 상부치 밀러 팬도치 소소인의 강토도 밀러로고 제비인다서 소소인의 로데고 체지 요래 어다 제가 대인도산에 만한조 오늘 전에 조보스네 민도 딱 그봐 소소파 균노론줄 쉬우지 제비데 그걸로 당으로 차로와 다 최고로 당게요 말봐 제가 대인도산에 오늘 전에 만한조 제비 체고해야 돼 최대 체고 요래 제가 치외도 최모도 관계 좀 매변 봐스 어떻게 들리지입니다.
In the end of the previous lesson, impermanence and death. So this contemplation is what motivates us to practice the Dharma. It could be that it's true that we have faith and we have trust in the Dharma, but in the day-to-day life we procrastinate the practice of the Dharma. We postpone it to the future, and this is because our contemplation of death and impermanence is unstable and it isn't constant. That which motivates us to practice the Dharma is the thought, the contemplation of death and impermanence. So we should do it so that naturally, instinctively, we wish to practice the Dharma. If we look at our current attitude to the practice of the Dharma, we can see that in many aspects it is not really serious. We want that during our contemplation of death and impermanence, our seriousness towards the practice of the Dhamma increases. So we should think, we should cultivate the three contemplations, that the death is certain, and that the uncertainty of the time of death, and that nothing will help but the time of death except the Dharma. Even if we have millions and millions of dollars during our life, at the end of our life we'll have to leave it behind. Even if we had a great possession of land, many dunams of land, we will not be able to take even a single morsel. Even if we have all kinds of food with us and drink, everything will have to be left behind at the time of death. Even if we have houses and possessions, everything will be thrown away and left behind at the time of death. The only thing which we can take with us are the things which we do during the practice. So with this thought, with this thought, what do we need to do in this life? We need to practice. And what is the meaning of the practice? That is the practicing with a day that one day we will die. And until we die, we want to be as much as possible kind and nice to the environment, to people around us, to beings around us. We want to the best of our ability to help and to be of benefit to others. If we live our life in such a way, while being kind to others, we will live a life which is meaningful. And then when we meet death, then we will be able to die peacefully and comfortably. So this brings us to the third contemplation about death, and that is that nothing will help us at the time of death besides the Dharma.
Yakshu, you know, Yakshu, that the ceremony Sanja, Radana, she used to do it somewhere begin and come back on the dozen. No net on Suji Lemel, Regina to be put on the dish. And France, though, I move said it. What she would it? She would also Pametan, one net and say, Ken dos. That can Tamate, or on the Shitan, Telebarakan Chimbomoto, the combat in Hanta, you did it that, says Motoshi, Kakechi. The Nizu Yaga share the Gavudi Min, the good stamp, the Gavudi Tajman singer to Shandu, the Soba Cashew, the Iran that didn't to get on this. And Tamadilla, Soba Hazard, so dropped into Piggy, Jujonachi, Labots and Doris, with Mom and Shimba did so do it. The share is a review. So Nizu Yaga, then Nizu Sanaji, Hake share in those. You Hamade to long on the chin of the Tando Nizu, Dogachida, Yaga, Kasora, a mill pen towards the Kake. What's the being? Chimune Kasora. That you know, just said that Hitchkin, Tamdu Nigato, or Thomas was tell a Barakan. Tell a Barakan Chadi, tell a day was care. So she would dread it. That's something did it. The man of Moy Nathan, this is a chat.
We contemplate that at the time of death nothing will help us besides the Dharma. If we think of the great achievements that were achieved in the past, like the building of the Taj Mahal in India, and how many artists were engaged in building it, how many slaves and workers, and it's not only workers and artists, and how much gold and silver and gems and pearls, all these were used in order to build this building. And who's left from all these workers to build this building? Not the workers and not the king were left after a few tens of years. It took a few tens of years to build the Taj Mahal, and during the building the king invited workers from Iran, 10 or 15 workers, and at the end of the building of the Taj Mahal, he cut their hands off so that they can't build again such a beautiful building, which so it is so meaningless that when we think of what is the benefit that we derive from such a great effort, nothing was left from these people after a few hundred years. And the same about the Louvre in France. In the Louvre in France, there are many exhibitions and artists who built the building itself and also the exhibitions which are in it. And eventually, finally, there is nothing left from these people besides the building itself and the exhibitions within it. Everything eventually becomes dust, and us too. And we will not be able even to take this dust with us to the future lives. So nothing will be able to take to our future lives. The only thing which will be of benefit is the practice of the Dharma. So, in this way we contemplate about impermanence and death, and we have the inspiration and the encouragement to practice the Dharma.
ngoye neta dote ani ame khobane ma kebane che kiji thangone che ani chi khashugre rawa me bane susu ani chi khashugre da chida shinji thungye pa khasore kiji jejene ta nyerunyo 조사하면서 좋아 이제 당분에 아니 비게지 니마 당고 되네 좋아스까 아마 세컨드 가리네마 아메 코고네 맞제 아니 기지 당고 되네 신지 지다 신지 타니로 친 그게 규샤를 친 타니를 까마르린 타니를 친 제가 뒤도 말아줘 보이네다 저기 다미 네버 친구 아니 그게 소도 딴 거에 미다 참 친구 근데 요아와 든주 아니 소도 땅갈 줘야 랑갈이야 다 소도 땅에 땡겨 차로 딱고 강바드네 소도 땅세 사제들 다 침백값이 되주 나한테 미메지 디지가 않네 스네다 도대다 나한테 선부사가지 미 선부로 왔다 무시하고 선부세네 사가지 마도 시야가 망가들이야 아니 그 게베 기지 담고되네 뭐야 고추 차렸어 와 진짜 좀 말한 좀 내다 저것도 미메지디 아니 가서 오래 네 좀바 나진디 아니 셰라리 티베기 랑갈 침봤다 나도 왜네 집을 차대 버렸어 어디 손샷 어디 레드 왔다 Pabonka Rinpoche said in one of his texts that we're just like someone who is doomed to death, who is taken to his death row, and every step is coming closer to death, to the Lord of Death, to the Yama, the one who's responsible for death. From when we're born, from the womb, every moment that passes, we're coming closer and closer to the moment of our death, just like a prisoner who is taken to his death row. Every moment that passes, every minute, brings us closer to a time of death. Without the opportunity to stop this process, we can actually think that we have already, we're just like a prisoner who has been given his death row, who has been told he's going to die, and every moment that passes brings us closer to our time of death. 아니 지워져. 딱 나주 미 무서워도 아니 지피게 추 추분을 시리스 따바따바 제 추 뭐디 아니 고다 남산파 시도야지 다고 또도 제요 말로 그 프라자일 시브지로 디는 신랑 좀 미메지 프라자일 시브지 추부 아니 어다 추부다 추좀 좀 미메지 좋아 미다봐 아니 임바마 아니 배 추부다 어쩌다 디인데 전에 벤지글라 어다 디스 송와르스 지단 디 아니 가서 단진 아니 치워템 다 치워미다 무슨 고고르스
So Rinpoche reads the third verse. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly it decays and death comes. After death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of black and white karma follow. Through this verse we contemplate about death and impermanence, our own impermanence. So the verse says, after death, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of black and white karma follow. We don't have much control as to our future rebirth, which we'll attain after death. The control goes to the karma is the one that controls where we're born. We will be born in a positive birth or a negative one, independent on the karma which we have accumulated. So we cannot know for sure whether we're gonna be reborn in a particular state. Since we don't have any control of our future, the place of our future birth, then we acknowledge the fact that it's the negative or the white or the negative or the black karma which has the control of where we're gonna have rebirth. So therefore we make an effort to engage in virtuous actions. Even the smallest of virtuous action we should engage in, and abandon even the smallest of negative actions.
줄리아드는 그게 인종 상바 존재니 아니 가져오다 산제 존재는 좀 샤부도 아니 제수 생각했어 아니 나도 좀 두유스 아니 산제고 아니 셰르부 좀 두유스 아니 셰르부 하고 뭔가 그치래 정도 아니 무식 시즌 디치두자네 콜이야 라도 중요하게 계자제도스 캐라도 좀 용마르스 어디 손들잖아 아니 좀 된데 라니 좀 자네 아니 다 근데 니주디야 슈두잖아 좀 된데 시체 아니 다 계자도스 계자 가르도스 뭐 아니 지금 너무 다 이게 깨봐 밤에 뭐야 아니 김다 배제 몽구지 깨워놨지 몽구디 아니 버주고 좋아지가 법 디 아니 취지 좋아도 취기 되어로 최대지 그치 당도 최대는 산지 인세유치 디 최대 탈 취시 취디나야 버주고 좋았지 디가 몽구디 법디 좋아디 취기 최대한 꼬라치텐 인세유다 대산디 인도전에 닌제기 계자티 아니 다캬 두스 디 계자를 때니 다캬 나도 좀 저기 두스 어떻게 됐어 대산디 인도다 오늘에서는 거기들 군제 요마르바 고대 샹에 요마르 코레치 요마르 그런 바버도 아니 이네 고치 그게 신기 툴을 때네 디 계자 텔을 때네 나도 좀 실수 아니 그게 자중도 고한도 그러기 정말 개와 처음부터 이내 나는 좀 다행이야 맞아. 즉 그게 되게 즉 되게 바로 요새 이제 좀 많은 소문을 쌓아야 산지 구단 제부터 됐잖아. 대박게 투야다. 즉 그 구단 이제 제부터 대박게 투야다. 많이 쌓아야 돼. 근데 무슨 제가 괜찮은 거 차대.
So, Rinpoche is giving an example to show how important it is to engage in even the slightest of virtue. So, to the best of our ability, we should still do positive or white karma. There is a very famous story which is told. There's a lay person who was called Kybje, who lived at the time of the Buddha, and he really wanted, when he was old, he really wanted to become ordained. He wanted to be a monk, but the Buddha sent him to meet one of the teachers, and he told him to consult him as to his ability to take the monk vows. And when he asked the teacher, he said he cannot give him the ordination because he hasn't performed any virtue in his life, so he cannot take the vow of ordination. So he went back to the Buddha, and the Buddha, who had clairvoyance, he said, actually, in his previous lives, a long time ago, he was born as a fly, and one day he was sitting on a wagon, and on the wagon was dung, cow dung, and as the fly, he landed on the cow dung, and the dung went round the stupa, and that's how this person, at the time he was a fly, has created virtue by circumambulating the stupa. So the Buddha could see this, and he said, this is the virtue which he has created, due to which he can take the vows of ordination. And in this way he attained the foe destroyer state, or an arhat stage, after his death. So this shows how the slightest of positive actions of virtue should be engaged in, because the outcome can be really great. So His Eminence is saying it is also important to recite the money mantras, and when we see a statue of the Buddha, then we use it as a means to accumulate virtue by having faith and trust in the Buddha. So these are very small and simple things, but we should make efforts even in the slightest of things, such as these examples, because we do not have control in future lives. The control is with the karma.
미겨 참무지네 공투고 맞다 저기 아니 그래 만주로 여러 봐 아니 그래 미질이야 민게 싱게 주네 그 듀스 러브스 인겨왕가 게두 겨왕가 여기다 어디 근데 뭐요 근데
So we also should abandon the slightest non-virtuous actions, not only accumulate the slightest of virtuous actions. So we should abandon any negative action. There's stories in the Buddhist tradition. For example, there's a story that tells about a person that called his friend a monkey, and then for 500 rebirths he was born as a monkey. So this is an example of a small negative action that its effect is great.
어떻게 계속 타다 난 간토도 그게 계속 봐 아니 그게 지금 다 야친부지 두두야다 안 따도 말안 좋더니 그게 지금 봐 쌤 바유던데 봐 쌤 바야면 뭐지 바유던데 뭐지 봐 쌤 바유던데 뭐 중앙이나 아니 말안 좋 그게 지금 다들 쉬면은 이게 이거 참무이네 두두야 이게 참무지네 공투야 배전 용도로 와 어쨌든 이거 따도 바유던데 뭐 용도야지 Lama Tzong Khapa.
So there is the need to rely on a spiritual teacher in the process of paying attention to our own correct attitude. So that means to create virtue and abandon non-virtue, even the slightest of both. So in every situation, we should act according to our conscience.
그게 지금 남바지나 다 잠주 삼바 때문에 치고 해도 되게 좀 그래. 잠주 삼바 때문에 주어나 아니 지금 다 먼저 니부터 시작을 거네. 와 아니 샤동 세지 이거로 니부터 시작을 거네. 샤동 세대 통보되는 땡기도 보고요. 땡기도 중앙에 다 먼저 잠주 보고요. 잠주 중앙체 잠주 중앙에 터네 아니 지금 그게 가지고 그래. 라싱이 개월 가지고 디고 미디어를 교심 아니 진짜 미진이 뭐 동심 어다 디지지기 돈에 아니 만주다 그게 창자 고정 채워도 많이 싸웠던 이제 바로 좀 제외네 안티 디보샤비 좀 진짜 대인도 통보들 잠주 때문에 삼바 때문에 주고요 다 잠주 때문에 유들 만주 저들 아니 잠주 군주로 무슨 넘버 숨스 제네 아니 티니 비게 또바 또 산제 군주 주 기류 군주스 제가 아니 산제기 때문에 그게 켄즈 뉴스는 비인데 봐 아니 산제 때문에 그게 지금 가지고 켄바트는 그게 지다보다 진이가 아니 지게 무슨도 시세 때문에 어디 규르를 해도 쉬담지 시도요 봐 아니 지수에 나 주주된 덴바 숨기인데 아니 토기인데 때문에 그게 단도 쉬는 시래 꾸이인데 내가 아니 지금 그게 고침배 아니 gemba 봐 아니 어떻게 무슨 투구인데 어떻게 공부 시에서 아니 지금 때문에 군주를 보지 무슨 대추 군주 고란기도 추 군주스 봐 딱히 뭐에 대인데 아니 윤윤디 잡고 다줬어 봐 산제디 잡도 봐 추디 잡고 뭐 가지고 그래 하나도 이모벌에 최외 남조도 남대지기요 봐. 진짜 대인도 님은 대체도 잡고 무슨 아니 딘딘도 잡고 다죠. 어다 되지신다. 때문에 무슨 구조를 무슨 넘버 숨티 아니 되기도 없지.
So we always want to behave in a conscientious way. So as Buddhists, we contemplate about refuge. So this we do together with purification of negative actions, which are the four antidotes. So when we take refuge, we take refuge in three objects. They also call the three precious jewels. So when we purify negative actions, we use the four powers. The four power is the power of the basis, or of that, the power of support. So what supports us is the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. So this is the support which we get in purifying our previous negative actions. So we also should feel a regret for our previous negative actions. We need to develop the power of wishing to refrain from such negative actions in the future. And also we can do something practical, something like offering prostrations, or doing a chorus, or reciting different mantras and prayers. These are things which we can do in a practical way, but the support which we get in this purification of negative actions previously accumulated is the support of the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. When we request refuge, we also contemplate the qualities of the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. So we will begin with the Buddha. There are different ways of describing the qualities of the Buddha. We contemplate the bodies of his body, speech and mind, like the qualities of his mind is that he is clairvoyant, is that he's got a great love and kindness to others, and it's got ability or power. The clairvoyant mind, which knows everything, knows all dharmas and all things in the world as though they're in the palm of the hand of the Buddha. So there's also the knowledge of reality and diversity, all the variations of things which are phenomena which are in the world, and it's also got love to others and ability. And the qualities of the body of the Buddha.
60 melodious intonations, or 16 intonations of the Buddha.
It's called the 16 intonations of the Buddha.
Intonacją, intonacje ciała Buddha.
And the body of the Buddha, which has the great and minor marks and signs. So this is the first refuge, which is the Buddha. The Dharma is the actual real refuge which we request. In the refuge of the Dharma, what will really give us the refuge are the true ways which we develop in our mind. The true paths is our refuge. This is the second refuge, the refuge of the Dharma, and the Sangha is the third refuge. The Sangha is the community which helps and supports us in applying the refuge. So these are the three objects of refuge, the Buddha, the Dharma and the Sangha. And these are the things which we focus on when we purify. These are the things which support us when we purify our negative actions.
펜베 선배 꾸네라네 밀리아 자기가 바꿔쳐야스네 펜도 쳐야지 디디지 쓰기요래 디 탑람티 아니 가란주 이게 세미 시외람지 때문에 또 보여요 또 지금 세외지기 처지기 톤 시엘리아 펜바탄 로고세 자원인 세투에 제단티 인산에 가수 조디 만주다 처음에 런세테야티 그러니까 점물인들이야 지그게 미 개수수 이내 지조 이내 계급 이내 미리 이내 추루 이내 oda kanji tel tsamolo le ya shirai kechimbo chadi hago da tari kesi tuju to chili ya manzu pige missing ngaje chimbo deba chimbo ani chik pige susu tunda tes manji guta chik pige ani kondusa we zawo zumbo mase shen le ya nyuzi che ani oda dide kembe pige mi munguji nyuzi yone chita ani nizu chunju jil tene ani pige rumje hajangi 도자 용데 근데 니주 용구 용데 어쨌든 니주 용데 다 시라기 이게 니주 찹주보다 자자고 시작되고 제가 말하는 상황으로 소시 셈는 안 남바이 지피에 추케링게 요때 저어디 처음에도 남지 좀 하도 왜 있는데 시라기 방법이 뭐래 어쨌든 딜레 상황으로 배주제 배케지 모르셔 마도지기 저어세디 즉 인진 예고 지단다 저어세디 직주부터 지금 대과다 지금 로하다 근데 고고르데 이게 삼바 삼백군이 나니 저지 잠내베이나 삼바 님백군이 나니 넘주디 야고지 템베이네디 저 차도도스 봐 되는 미친 뭐지 가보면에 가보 예도도 체비니 저 차사 아니 좀 디네 보는 전에 이 뼈 차이 뼈 내리서는 저 차차 다는 신기 미션 버질이야 직소수 그게 미션 버티기 된다 주변에 된다래 미션 버틸 바로 거를 제가지 제 디젤 미드네 주라에 삼스탄데 서준사 지산데 인도 서와서 인지민지 페이지화 증거다 슈거다 이제 거기에 개문도
Continuing with refuge, after refuge, we also take some practices upon ourselves. We do some training. So this training which we do, things which we adopt and discard. So in a concise way, what we should discard, having taken refuge, is harming others. So we want to try and avoid harming others. So not only do we need to abandon harming others, but also we want to benefit others as much as we can. So the way for our mental peace is not harming others, is being non-violent. We can see how many trouble and difficulties there are in the world that revolve around conflicts, religious or ethnical disputes. So we want to we want to avoid harming others, independent of any kind of what religion or kind of people they belong to. We want to be non-violent and non-harming towards others. We can see how difficult the situation is in the world currently. People with pride or arrogance or jealousy, when they feel anger, they feel angered when the slightest of things happen and things don't work out for them. So when they get angry, they harm others. There's such difficult situations like that in the world because of pride, jealousy, and anger. So we want to avoid, to the best of our ability, harming others, and we want to be of benefit to others. In particular, us as Buddhists, we want to make it as a principle of our life. The meaning of avoiding violence is, of course, negative actions of the body. We shouldn't harm with the body and speech. If our speech hurts, it can hurt others. We can also hurt physically, but the greatest avoidance which we should engage in is to have a negative mental state of mind towards others, because this harms others in a much wider way. For example, His Holiness, His Eminence says that The way which we speak to others can be pleasant and nice, but in our heart we have no respect for the person. Even if the words come out nicely and pleasantly, it's because we have some disrespect to them, then the action is harming. If we are of benefit to the others, but we do it with the motivation so that in the future this person will give us a gift or will do something in return, since our motivation is impure, but rather we're thinking of our own benefit. So we can see this action as harming as well. We take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. And the Buddha is the one who taught the refuge, but he's not the actual refuge. He's just the one who taught what the refuge is. The real refuge is the Dharma. The Buddha is not a true real refuge, because the Buddha himself said that water cannot wash away our negativities. The Buddha cannot take negative actions with his hand. The Buddha cannot to give his own realizations to us. But the only thing that the Buddha can do is to teach the way to enlightenment, and that's the truth. He can teach the true mode of abidance of reality. So the Buddha cannot wash away our negativities like water, like water that is washed, like water that washes a cloth. The Buddha cannot reach out his hand and take out our suffering, just like we can clean a dirty place with a cloth. It cannot take the dirt off our mental state. The Buddha cannot pass his realization on to us. The only thing he can do is to develop, to help us develop a true realization of reality in our minds, because this is the way which will lead to liberation. So the true refuge, which includes true paths and true cessations, is by teaching the Dharma.
아니 지금 장선을 쏘고 되다 먼저 아니 이게 개비 다져 하면서 책고요리스 어디 된대지기 돈에 만주다 아니 개미 군주로 무슨 나버 숨세대 만주다 개고송 그봐 다 조디 년이야 뭐 가서라니 아니 니 년run이소 공주 호화지대 개와도 년run이소 지신대로 지고치 지고 텔레 때문에 왜 때문에 군주 숨을 이거 이 집에 돈에 아니 때문에 군주 숨이야 근데 레드제 삼바세지 그다 되지 중도는 때 겨울 다 정말 춘지지 다 용도고요.
We have mentioned the two first refuges, which are the Buddha and the Dharma, and the third one is the Sangha, who are the people, the individuals who we rely upon in order to develop our own inner refuge. So these people, the Sangha, we feel respect towards, and we take them as an example. We take an example into our own personal refuge, so that we can develop the true refuge within our mental continuum. So these are the three refuges: the Buddha who taught, who showed us what the refuge is, the real refuge, which is the Dharma, and the Sangha, which aids us, which helps us to arise the true refuge within our heart, mind. So we turn for refuge because we feel fear of what will happen to us in our future lives. When we understand that in our future life we might be reborn in a place of suffering, the three lower realms, as an angry, in the hell, or a hungry ghost, or in the animal realm. So we have complete fear of being reborn in these states of suffering in the lower realms, and we want anything that can help us in order to get out of these states, which will protect us from the fear. And this is the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And then the second cause for going for refuge is the trust, is the faith that the Buddha, Dharma can help us to get out, to protect us from our suffering. So when we rely on the objects of refuge, then that is when we attain the meaning of refuge within our minds. What is the nature of refuge? It is relying on the three objects of refuge while having the faith that they can protect us from the fear from the lower realm.
이거 땡기 또 잠도 고도와 어디 데 인도잖아요. 지금 겸주다 시라 계속 붙여고요. 소는 소도 신대 겸주데 디고고 아니 지금 내내 겸주 때문에 요구요. 다른 신이 지금에 말아서 지금 소사 되지 않듯이네. 겸주면 용투비에 있는 거. 진짜 디 인도잖아요. 겸주 때문에 말아서 배제 제도가 왜 계속 붙여고요.
For Buddhist refuge is extremely important, because if our refuge is correct and good, then we become a Buddhist. This is what determines Buddhists or not. If we turn for refuge in a correct way, in a good way, then we're Buddhists, otherwise we're not. In addition, turning for refuge, it serves as a basis for vows which we take in the future. As we mentioned a few minutes ago, taking refuge is what we rely on when we purify our negative actions in the past, when we do that with the four opponent powers. So this is also what we use when we accumulate merit, the great accumulation of merit. So the field of accumulation is used in order to take refuge.
다 짬루 이거 타는 이게 가수 그래. 아니 짬루 상도 렌제 니와께 또 아니 기부치 문은 냄새지. 그거 어떻게 좀도 보고요. 세상에 이제 전에 짬루 중앙에 아니 렌제리야 이식 니도. 렌제리 이식 니도 아니 대부분 기루는 많은 배주치 그래. 아니 지 그게 디고 밑에 뭐 오해야리야 아니 접수 가져 배주한다. 아니 가지고 겨워 두게는 안주 다 배주인 거래. 다 렌제 꼭 개침 부려. 렌제 꼭 남의 쓰는 배 개침 붙이는 거래. 그랬어.
Without having taken refuge, we cannot purify negative actions, we cannot accumulate merit. So, taking refuge for us is central in our Buddhist practice. If our refuge is correct, then naturally we will also develop trust in the way that karma works, so in the karma cause and effect, so that negative actions bring a negative result and positive actions bring a positive result like happiness. So it also encourages us to put effort into refraining from negative actions and to engaging in positive actions. So these are the things which we focus on when we develop the stages for enlightenment, which are common to the small-scale beings. These are the main points which we work on. So we mentioned karma, the positive and negative actions. This subject is so vast, it is great. Oh, we're going to leave it here.
אז אולי נסיים את השיעור הזה עכשיו ונצא להפסקה לצהריים.